Butterbean was beaten in astonishing kickboxing fight with 6 feet 11 inch giant, which fans claimed was biggest height difference in history. Butterbean was once beaten in a K1 kickboxing bout against giant fighter Montana Silva. Butterbean, real named Eric Esch, was an icon in combat sports and was primarily known for his career in the traditional boxing, where fans became enthralled by his KO power and huge physique. In 2004, Esch took on one of the most formidable challenges of his career when he took on huge standing 6 feet 11 in Silva in a kickboxing clash. Silva had a whole foot advantage over Esch, who stands at 5 feet 11 inches, but it was a challenge he was certainly up for trying to navigate. Resembling of David versus Goliath, the American faced off with his rival, who towered over him as the first bell rang. The opening round began with Silva extremely hesitant, waiting patiently for the natural boxer to come to him. When the pair let their hands go in small flurries, Silva looked reluctant to throw many shots, and it became a scrappy affair, with the Brazilian catching his leg into his rival's oncoming attack. The giant went down again as Butterbean charged forward, but it seemed to be ignored as a knockdown, despite him collapsing after a shot landed through the guard. A second stanza followed a similar pattern, with Esch trying to close the gap, so much so he speared his rival into the ropes and onto the canvas.
The final round came and went in a similar vein, with many feeling that Esch had actually done enough to get a nod on the judges' scorecards. Silva, who controlled the distance, but looked reluctant and landed less shots, was ultimately handed the decision on the judges' scorecards, given Esch failed to cause any significant damage. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be, with Silva declared the winner by unanimous decision. But fans were simply stunned with Esch's effort overall.
He had performed well, even tried to overcome the size difference, which to many was the biggest they had seen in combat sports. David Haye and Nikolai Valuev shared a similar height disparity, one which Haye sensationally overcame to become world champion in the boxing cruiserweight division. Silva's next moves came in 4 forthcoming clashes in kickboxing, in which he lost all 4 of them. But the Brazilian now works as a jiu-jitsu practitioner and wrestler in his home country, and has become a phenom due to his frightening size. Esch went on to fight in an array of different disciplines after his 3rd consecutive K1 defeat, continuing his boxing journey until 2013. He had already burst onto the scene 2 years before in a showdown with heavyweight legend Larry Holmes, during which he was battered and unfortunately lost. His final outing came in 2013, when he lost his final clash to Kirk Lawton, and was forced to turn his back on combat sports given he had health issues. Since that day, Esch has lost 200 pounds in weight, and is a completely transformed man. Butterbean has even made surprise calls for a comeback at the age of 58, particularly given Mike Tyson will face Jake Paul in a professional fight this year. The American had already called out Paul several years ago, and was forced to turn down his own potential exhibition with Tyson, but now he is eyeing a shot at the winner, particularly the problem child, to whom he has now made a winner-takes-all offer. He has even shown off training footage, insisting he hasn't lost his power, but a full return currently seems unlikely.